Hi, it's Peter from Sydney, Australia. How you going? Welcome to my channel. I thought I would do the Vinyl Tag 2022 challenge. I've never done one of these before. I've been inspired by a few of the ones that I've seen so far. My questions are going to be inspired by the one that Melinda Murphy did, and I've added a couple of questions as well, borrowing from a couple of other people that I've seen as well. I think there was Telegram Sam, who I newly subscribed to really recently. So anyway, without further ado, I'll just get on with it. So the first question was to show my favourite vinyl purchase of 2021. Didn't buy a lot of new stuff through the year, but without a doubt, me being the vinyl nut that I am, that is my favourite vinyl purchase of the year. It's a superb set. Not a lot I can say that hasn't been said already about this thing. I love the way it's packaged, the way it's been presented, the fact that we've got a Get Back album with the original sleeve, and that would have been intended for it, like so. That's phenomenal. I love that. The remix sounds great. Love the set. I've been buying these anniversary sets religiously, so this was a no-brainer. I've also got the CD set as well, and the 2 CD set, and the picture disc. So, that's what I do. That's how I roll. Okay, a record from a band that I first saw in concert. This goes back to 1973, and I'm about 16 years old, thereabouts. This is an Australian band called Band of Light. An Australian band, had a couple of Kiwis in it, but guy named Phil Key, Norm Rowe and guitar. Phil Key was a guitarist formerly out of the Lady Dars, a New Zealand band. Ian Ryland, they went to perform in a band called X, and Tony Butel on the drums. I saw them in concert in 1973. That's a great thought. This is their debut album. I think they had one other album beyond that. This is like a progressive blues rock thing. 6 tracks on the album. They also had a hit, minor hit with a song called Destiny Song on 45. Okay, a show duo. I'm going to show you a couple. First one, Stanford and Townsend, from the mid-70s. A bit of American sort of blue-eyed soul, pop rock. Couple of guest vocalists on here. I think James Taylor is actually on here. Kenny Loggins actually is on here on one track. People like Barry Beckett played on this thing. Yeah, it's like a West Coast, soul pop, blue-eyed soul type of thing. Okay. The other one I'm going to show you is my favourite comedy duo from England, Morecambe and Wise. Now, a lot of people from America won't know this duo, unless you've seen the Beatles anthology, and you would have seen the Beatles performing on their show from 1963, and doing a comedy stick with them where they did a song Moonlight Babe with Morecambe and Wise, and Eric came out dressed as one of the Beatles, while the others were wearing straw hats and boaters and whatever else. Okay, so yeah, that's an album from their TV show. They had a famous TV show there in England for a while, showed it here in Australia. It was a favourite of mine. Okay, a record that had Shrink on it. An album I came across a couple of years back called The Candyman from Canada. This is an original Canadian pressing. It's kind of psychedelic pop rock. Not a lot known about them. I played it once already. It's actually quite good. I bought it as a blind buy. Somebody had it. The store I went to had it, and bought it as a blind buy. It's an original press apparently. It's also a stereo or mono. I can't remember offhand whether it was stereo. It's mono. This is a mono press. So yeah, of course go on the mono turntable. Okay, a concept album. Rick Wakeman, Myths and Legends of King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table. That's a mouthful of a title. This is of course, a progressive rock album from the legendary Rick Wakeman, keyboardist. This was the follow-up to Journey to the Center of the Earth. It's actually followed a couple of years after that album. I think he had, it's got a booklet in here. That's the gatefold. Really nice gatefold. A&M Records, Australia. Has a booklet in here with lyrics and the like. Basically the tales of King Arthur, you know. Sir Lancelot and the like. Quite a good album. Quite a good album indeed. Yeah. So yeah, that was a concept album that I decided to pull out. Okay. An album that I haven't played yet. Well, I only bought this album about a month or so back. A whole bunch of, this also could double as an album with shrink on it. Roy Orbison, the Hank Williams, the Roy Orbison Way. I bought a bunch of Roy Orbison LPs from a JB Hi-Fi here in Sydney. I might have a chance to play it yet. I played some of the others. Replica label on there. This is from 1970, though it's a reissue, a universal reissue. So there, the others have been pretty good that I've enjoyed so far. I'll get around to playing that one day. Now, there's a question I can't answer, an artist I discovered in 2021. Sadly, I didn't discover anybody new. My vinyl buying was limited to second-hand used stuff earlier in the year, and then COVID hit, and I was restricted to where I could go 5 kilometres. We had lockdown here in Sydney for a while, especially in the area I was living in. So I didn't really get a chance to discover anybody new. A couple of years back, 2020, I did discover, you know, the Candyman album. Jimmy Smith is another one I found. I want to get more Jimmy Smith. I know Melinda is very big on Jimmy Smith. She's shown a few of his albums, and I was really impressed with the album that I do have. Anyway, moving on to the next one, Show Live album. I'm going to show you two, and they're going to segue into the next question. That Deep Purple, now it's got live there. It's actually the Made in Japan album. Phenomenal album. There are very few better live albums than this one. Being a drummer myself, as you can see, my favourite drummer is Ian Paice from Deep Purple, and the drum solo on the mule is just unbelievable. I wish I had a quarter of the guy's talent, you know, but that being said, the guy practices as well, and his skill level is just through the roof. Even over 70, he's just amazing. There's that. Now, I've got a Japanese version of that, which is called Live in Japan. That's the Japanese press. I picked this up a few years back. Right, same track listing, essentially. I guess, yep, same track listing, essentially. It's on Warner, Japanese Warner. It's got a lyric booklet in Japanese as well, which I'll pull out. Let me see what it's got here. There's something I've discovered in here. No, I can't pull it out. It's got a leaflet in there. It's in Japanese. The Japanese do tend to go over and above. And this kind of segues into the next one. An album from another continent. Also a live album. Santana's Lotus. Now this is a triple album from around 1973, 74, thereabouts. It's an amazing package. I really can't open it because it's just multiple folds. It's just like, man, this is over and above. It folds out, folds down, folds, you know, there's booklets, there's all sorts of things in this thing. Some religious themology in there as well, themes. This is a Japanese Sony pressing from 1975. Still got the inner sleeves. This was originally only available in Japan. I found it in an import store here in Sydney. Yeah, amazing, great album. Now this was in a period, I think, which Santana were going into their kind of fusion era, Caravanserai era. Yeah, Caravanserai, Moonflower, I think is another one. Actually, Caravanserai, the one that was the big one. Okay, I'm rambling. A punk and new wave record. I'm going to show the Motels debut album. Great album, love it. It's a I saw the Motels in concert here at I think the Capitol Theatre, may have been, here in Sydney. Small theatre. It was about 2,000 people. Great show. They had some other albums beyond this, but I don't think they ever bettered this one. This is just fantastic. Love it. It's got the extended version of Total Control. Sax solo, and that's just so cool and sexy. It's not funny. Great album. Okay, an album with a price tag on it. Now, I've been on a classical kick recently. My classical collection has actually quite grown exponentially, and I've actually now moved it up to this area here to make it eye level because the title's a bit hard to read on the spines. This album has got a price tag. I didn't buy this originally. I found this among a haul of other albums. It's from Edels in Sydney, $1.55. It's quite low. It's Rossini Overtures. Yeah, it's quite a nice album actually. It's in stereo, so yeah, that's that one. An album with a sport theme. Okay, sport theme album cover. Friendly Enemies, round one. It's a soul funk album. It's on Prodigal label, which is a an offshoot of Motown. It's I think they were a studio band. I don't think they were actually a formed band. It may have been a formed band. A trio: Michael Rubini, Chuck Smith, and Don Dunn. But yeah, it's quite a good funky album from 1978. I've come across it through a guy I worked with. Played it only recently actually. It's quite good. I've also got an Australian pressing of it that I inherited from a friend of mine. So yeah, Friendly Enemies, round one. Don't know that the cover is that politically correct these days, whether you would get away with it now, but that's by the by, you know. It is what it is. Yeah, that is actually quite a great album. Okay, I'm going to add a question. An album from the year I was born. This took some research. I'm trying to find an album that I actually owned. There were a couple that I do own. And I've discovered that, now this is a bit of a cheat because this is a reissue. I don't actually have one from 1957, unfortunately. But this is Coltrane's Blue Train. Released in 1957, originally. So, yeah. This is a Blue Night 75 reissue in mono. Again, heavyweight vinyl. Got the inner sleeve. Yeah, it's actually quite nice. So, and this is like my first foray into Coltrane. This one and Love Supreme, plus the box set that I've got, the CD box set I've got there of the Atlantic mono albums, which I wanted to get on vinyl, but Melinda actually showed the vinyl version of it. Beautiful in set, wonderful. But I've got the CD version. I had to be content with that. So yeah, Coltrane, Blue Train. And it kind of segues into the next question. I could have doubled them up. Show Jazz album. And I thought I'd pull out Brubeck Timeout. This is actually an original press from the early 60s. It's on Coronet label, which is quite a striking label. Hexagonal, I think 1, 2, 3. No, yeah, hexagonal, 6-sided label. That is a really great album. Now I've given that a claim as well. It being an original, it's a mono. It's really coming up. It came up great after I cleaned it. Nice, plays well. Heavyweight vinyl, pretty good. Okay, show a best of album, best of greatest hits. Thought I'd go with the Easy Beats, Absolute Anthology. This was from 1980. This LP. It's a 40 odd plus track, 1023, 43 track LP. Comes with an extensive booklet, liner notes by Rock Brain of the Universe, Glenn A. Baker, former Rock Brain of the Universe. He's an Australian authority on all things music. Absolutely extensive liner notes on that thing. Covers their whole career right at the end. From the first single, For My Woman, all the way to St. Louis. There are some oddities on the album, different takes, that kind of thing. It's mostly mono. I think some stereo tracks in here as well, from memory. But yeah, that is a brilliant. It's been released on CD, but the Liner Notes 20 is extensive. That is probably the compilation to get if you can get hold of it. Really, that is amazing. Okay, an LP with more than 8 people on the cover. Decided to go with the Doobie Brothers, What Once Was Is Now Habits. Great album. Got the track Black Border on it. A whole lot of other things on there. Eyes of Silver, Pursuit of 53rd Street. Great album. Actually, one of my first real introductions to Doobie Brothers LP wise. After I bought that, I went back and got Captain and Me and Toulouse Street and all the other ones. I probably could have gone with Toulouse Street as an album with more than 8 people on it, but the album cover itself, probably would have to censor it, unfortunately, or the gatefold anyway. Yeah, but that's the Doobie Brothers. This is from 1974. Okay, this is the follow-up to Captain and Me. An album I was given as a gift. I've been fortunate to have been given a lot of LPs, particularly classical ones, from a friend of mine named Stephen Chen. He's a audiophile, an authority on those things. He and a friend of mine, and we've compared notes on Beatle LPs and stuff like that, but he's more a classical aficionado. One of the things he's given me has been this really nice Grieg and Schumann Piano Concertos LP on the Regal label. It's a mono pressing. He has been giving me a lot of mono records because I have got a turntable that's got a separate mono cartridge, a dedicated mono cartridge, which is great. I'm glad I got that. Steve was the one that took me into buying it when I bought the mono box, the Beatles mono box, LP box. There's that. But he also gifted me a UK Rubber Soul. This is from the 70s. This is a 70s pressing. It's an EMI2 box. This sits actually in my Beatle roll top box. I mean, I've got the album over and over, sure. Happy to always get another copy of it. And this is really a nice pressing. Really nice. Okay, show soundtrack. Among the haul of CD, classical LPs earlier in the year that I found. Actually, it was kind of end of last year, no, beginning of this year. But I found a pristine pressing of The Sound of Music. Now, not the kind of thing I normally would go for, but it's a mono press. It's a gold record label, gold record award certified label. I gave it a clean. It came up beautiful. It's actually quite a nice album. I mean, when you go out of what you would normally listen to, and I'll go into comfort zones later on because there's a question about that. But this is actually quite good. It come up very nicely, and it was actually quite a high seller back in the day. It's a very popular soundtrack back in the day. It might surprise a few people, I know. What the hell is holding up The Sound of Music? Let's hold up classical music. What the hell? Okay. An LP without writing on the cover. Decided to go with that one. Can you guess what it is? It's George Michael, Listen Without Prejudice. I can understand why he would do that for the front cover. I mean, you hear the name George Michael, you probably have an image of a certain type of music he'll perform. This is a great album. This actually surprised me. I found this, I think this is among a bunch of LPs that I got from a friend. I don't think I've done that I actually bought this. Or actually, I might have even bought this when it came out, but this was actually quite a surprising album. Really, really good. Quite good. An LP with coloured vinyl. Actually, no. So next question is Show 45. Going to show you a couple variations of the same single. That is the Rolling Stones. Now, all my 45s have got a label up here. The details of the 45. That's an Australian Decca painted black. Back with Long Long While. But I thought I'd also show you the New Zealand press, which the label's actually quite interesting as well. That's the New Zealand pressing of the same 45. And that's the rear cover. I've got quite a number of New Zealand 45s. That's the labels are quite interesting. It's funny because the Decca label here in Australia was distributed by EMI, whereas in England it was an independent label, completely different label in America. But this was in Australia. Decca was an EMI label until it shifted over to Hologram. So yeah, Australia, New Zealand. There you go. Okay, coloured vinyl. Sonny Boy's debut album. They actually have two versions of this album back in the day. There was a blue cover, which had black vinyl, had a different track listing as well, one slightly different track. Had the single Happy Man on that one. This one doesn't have that. This is a yellow vinyl press. This is a first pressing. But I'll take it out of the sleeve to show you. Mushroom label from 1981. I decided to go with the yellow vinyl press instead of the black one because I think because I had the Happy Man 45 anyway, so I decided to go with the one with a different track. Albeit that they're colour vinyl anyway. Now, next question, second to last question, is an album from the year 1982. Decided to go with Fleetwood Mac Mirage. Contains the singles Gypsy and Hold Me. Also Oh Diane and a few other tracks. This is actually a good album. I think it was a follow up to Tusk, which was from '79. I think there were like 3 years between albums, which was quite something. You've got the inner sleeve, Australian Warrant 40 LP. So yeah, Gypsy's quite a nice song, and Hold Me as well. They're both popular tracks on the album. So yeah, so there you have Mirage of Fleetwood Mac. I decided to add another question. I think this actually was from Melinda as well. This actually was already in there, but I've added a couple of those in there. An album that takes you out of your comfort zone. I said that I've been going into classical music, which I like listening to. Not a huge opera fan, but it's an acquired taste, of course, and I've been dabbling in it as well. I think this is also from my friend Stephen Wagner box set. It is a 5 LP box, and I think it's a Dutch pressing. Comes with this version, not from Stevens, actually came from a guy I bought it from. Got a book, and in fact, with the there's a bit of history behind it because there's actually newsprints from 1979. Bit of history behind this record. It's actually quite interesting that he added these things. He must have gone to a performance. In fact, he did. Sydney Ultra performance. Festival of Sydney 1983. Yeah. So yeah, that was so there's a bit of history behind that. Got a massive book in it. This is a stereo pressing. Yep. So yeah, usually they're in 3 languages: German, English, Italian. So I think this is German and English in this particular case. But classical records have tended to have liner notes in 3 or 4 different languages. I think Italian, German, French, and English, from what I've seen, from my own experiences anyway. Okay, so there you have it. That's my take on the... Oh, there was one question I forgot. Looking at it now. Shell box set, I skipped over it. Sorry guys. Jimi Hendrix box set. I could have use that as a box set as well, but I thought I'd pull this one out. This is a Jimi Hendrix box set that came out in 1980 in Australia. Also includes a 12-inch single of Hey Joe, what is it? Come with a booklet, Gloria, and in fact the single is, just give me a second guys, I'm just messing around a little bit here. All on the Watchtower and Gloria. I find it, for some reason it's 33 1/3, but it's a single. That's the bonus single that came with it. It contains all of Jimmy's LPs and quite a number of post exploitation releases after he passed away. That came out, Midnight Lightning, Crash Landing, all those. Comes with a booklet as well. Yeah, things like Bands of Dixie, Isle of Wight, Cry of Love, War Heroes, in the West, Hendrix in the West, Loose Ends, Crash Landing, Midnight Lightning. Yeah, a whole bunch of LPs that were released after Jimmy passed away. That would probably do a cashing in. Anyway, enough of that. Thank you for watching this. I didn't want to make it too long, but it is what it is. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this, and take care. Be safe wherever you are. In case you're wondering what this is, that's what I do. I play drums and I know things. It's kind of a play on an old Tyrion Lannister quote, from Game of Thrones. When I saw it, I had to have it. Okay, have a take after yourself, guys, and stay safe wherever you are. I know we're in a difficult time with COVID at the moment, but just be safe and look after yourselves and be happy and be friendly. Bye, wherever you are in the world. Bye.